All right, so take two. Hello, everyone. I was live a little bit earlier. So this, I don't know, this tutorial is proving to be quite challenging. I don't know if I was supposed to do this this tutorial because I tried to pre-record this and I was like, whatever. Then I tried to go live, and when I went live, there was no audio. I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not meant for me to do this tutorial on doing these designs for tapered tumblers. Maybe not enough people actually do tapered tumblers. If you were someone that has purchased tumblers and they end up being the tapered ones, go ahead and write tapered in the comments, whether you're watching this live or watching the playback of this, because I'm trying to figure out if the universe is trying to tell me something that, most of the people who watch my videos, they're not really doing tapered tumblers anyway. But nevertheless, we are going to get into it and do this live training on tapered tumblers and how to set your design up in Silhouette Studio. Okay. Just allow me a moment because I'll go back and share it out. So just give me a moment to get this all shared out. I'm not going to be on too long. Like I said, I was originally going to do this as a pre-recorded video, but it kept messing up. So I'm doing it live. My goal here is to get through the teaching, get through the tutorial, the training, and we will answer some questions at the end, but this is not going to be an extended training. I'm not going to answer any questions that are not related to the tapered tumbler. So no questions about troubleshooting, Epson printers, color settings, or anything like that. We're just going to go over how to set your design up when using Silhouette Studio. Now, as I'm, continuing to share this out, I will go ahead and preference this in saying that you must have Designer Edition Plus, or Business Edition in order to do the tapered tumbler. You must have one of those. There is no option within the free version that will allow you to warp the template. And for the tapered tumblers, because they are smaller at the bottom and larger at the top, most times, I don't think I've ever seen them the other way around, you have to taper it, or you have to warp it so that when you put it on, it goes on straight. Now, you can, if you have, let's say, just a pattern, right? There's no words to it. All of the beautiful ones that are like, even like the stained glass one that I did, I don't even see it here, the stained glass one with the tiger on it, or if it is one of the ones with the flowers, like that AI 3D type flower, you can do those and you won't have to worry about warping it, because that's just a picture. No one's going to be able to tell like if it's a little bit off, but you want your template and you want your paper, your cutout, to be in that shape so that when you cut around it, it will go on your tumbler correctly and it will not shift. But if you have any design that has words on it, especially, you are going to want to use Designer Plus, or Business Edition. Or you can use Photoshop because they have a warp feature, which is similar. Like how you would set that up is going to be similar to how you're going to set it up with the regular Designer edition of Silhouette Studio. Designer has regular warp. Designer Plus and Business has the cone warp, which is what you will need for this. I'm going to show you, if you want to write down the dimensions of how to set your file up, you can do that. We also have a template on the website. If you are someone that has the free version, you will need to purchase the template so that you can have that bottom image that's already in the shape. But if you are someone that has Designer Edition Plus or Business and it's just a picture and you're not designing within it, you can go off of the measurements that will be mentioned in this training. Okay. All right. So I really don't remember where in the heck I shared this at now. I started talking and now I don't remember where all I shared this at. I may be sharing this twice in this location, but it's okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and get our introduction out of the way and get into this tutorial. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Ink 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best summation ink and paper. If you have not heard of our product, with our paper, you are able to sublimate as low as 365 degrees as fast as 30 seconds. Here is what our cover sheet looks like. You can find it on our website, shop.hsink365.com. It comes in 8.5 by 11, all the way up to 13 by 19. Right now, the rolls are on pre-sale, depending on when you are watching this, and we should have them back in stock soon after the pre-sale if you're watching this video in the very far future, in the future, okay? So check that out on our website. You can also check out our classes that we teach over on 365 Creative Academy, but can be purchased on our website, shop.hsink365.com as well. Yes, we do have 13 by 19 in stock. So like I said, with our paper, no butcher paper required. So even if you're using like a tumbler press or a mug press, it's not going to bleed out and get on your press, so you don't have to use additional butcher paper. You don't have to use additional butcher paper if you're using the heat press, and you're going to be able to get great results like these. And I printed this using plain paper setting. You don't have to use premium matte in order to get gorgeous colors. We have a high release paper that's going to give you really, really great, efficient results with less ink, less time, less resources. Okay, so definitely check that out. So like I said, someone posted this question on one of our YouTube videos. See what happens, guys, when you engage and you actually ask questions. I'm able to maybe do a video just for you based off of your question. So engage, drop your questions, your comments, your topics in the comments. I may just choose one of your questions or topics to do a video on that's going to help a bunch of people, right? So she has some Green Bay designs, and how it was originally posed, like how the question was originally posed was, well, how do I add a image to my tapered tumbler template? Now that could be some people can read that a couple different ways. Like, okay, you already have it and you want to add a picture to it. Or it's, how do I make this fit the shape of the tapered tumbler? For me, templates are really just the outline that you're going to design in, or like in this case, I will give you the measurements and then there's certain numbers that you have to put in order for it to warp. So that's kind of how I personally see templates. It's not always like the full-on design for me when I think of templates. So I'm going to show how to do it if you have the just designer edition or if you have designer and business. Again, you cannot do this if you have the free version unless you don't have text and you just need to crop it to the shape so that when you cut it out with your scissors, it's going to go around the tumbler and not have a shift. Okay. All right. If you're ready, say ready. We're going to go ahead and get into this tutorial. Not this one. All right. So originally they sent oh, you guys can't see, huh? Let me flip y'all around. Okay, there we go. So originally she was sent, I guess, I'm not sure if it came with it or how it was, but this is, I know it's really hard to see. I'm gonna try and zoom in on it, but this was basically the template that was sent to her that she was trying to design from. And the way that this is set up, it would never work because proportionally, it doesn't go to the size of the tumbler. So we're going to do it from scratch. So I'm not even going to worry about this. We're going to delete that and we're going to go in from scratch. Now, this one at the top tells me what size my rectangle needs to be. Whether you are designing from scratch or if you're bringing in an image, there is a specific size for a 20-ounce tumbler that your design page needs to be. And in this case, that is, which if you want to write it down, you can. It's going to be 9 inches by 8.125. This is different than a standard skinny straight 20-ounce tumbler. So the measurements for the tapered tumbler, 20 ounce, for most of them, you may have to stretch a little bit. I do have, well, we had a class, it's retired now. I have to do it again on how to actually determine your settings, no matter what tumbler you're using, no matter what the sizes are. Because with Silhouette Studio, you have to do a little bit extra because it doesn't account for a flap when you are using the warp tool. So you have to do a little something extra. And I did have a class on that before. I'll be doing that one again soon. But for your standard, pretty much like the standard regular 20-ounce tumblers, you're going to do 9 inches wide by 8.125 in height. Okay. So this particular one over here was already kind of like set up in as a regular tumbler file. I don't know if it was a regular 20-ounce file or what. I typically do not stretch designs or like plug in the width and height. I like for them to go proportionate. So at the top, if you turn on, put the lock on, and then for your width, if you just make it 9, you'll see where it jumps to. This goes to 7.819, but we need it to be 8.125. Now, if I were to unlock this and I were to make this 8.125, this particular design, not that bad as far as how it stretches. It's not really distorted because it's a really small jump. Some designs can end up very distorted if the original size did not match. What I personally typically tend to do is take my template that is 9 by 8.125. I'm going to just remove the color on that. And I will size up my design to go past it on the top or bottom and just get that to fit like that. And then select it and crop. That way I'm not distorting it. Yes, you may lose some of your image, but at least it won't be just like I do. So you want to have that to that size. This one, I'm not sure where she got it from. It looks like kind of like a screenshot, but maybe that's just how she sent it to me. But I am going to just bring this down to size. I'm not making this tumbler. This is for teaching and educational purposes only. So I'm going to put no color and I'm going to make, just so you can see my line. So I'm going to take this and shrink it down and I'm going to keep moving it around. I want it to kind of line up on here. We're going to go to about there. I'm going to move it over some. Kind of center that word Packers. We're going to drag and select, go over to modify, which can be done in the free version, and we're going to crop. Once you have it down to that size, if you have Designer Edition Plus or Business Edition, you're going to follow the numbers that are on the little guide on the side. So that's included when you purchase the template. If you click on the link in my bio or the description of this video, it is going to take you to my Linktree. And depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching this and you don't see it like this, just go to our website, go to HSINK Digital, and you will scroll and see it. But as of right now, if you want to go pick up the template right now, you go on there. It is the fourth link, and that's going to take you to the tumbler template. All right. the Tapered Tumbler template. So I'm going to click here. You're going to come over to your warp. I have mine is in the flyout, but it's the one with the little grid. You're going to click on that. It's going to bring up your warp tool. Here, you're going to go to the cone. Again, this is only available in Designer, Plus, and Business Edition. So you're going to make sure that your image is selected. You're going to go to Warp Selected Shapes. And I'm going to put in the figures that are on the side, 2.975, 2.725, 8.125. Okay. And that is going to give me the warp. Depending on how, this is where it's something that's flattened. It's a little bit different if you are putting in all of your elements and designing it from scratch. You can either put them all into the template, save it as a JPEG, bring that JPEG back in and do this. Or if you're going to select it all and warp it, do not, I repeat, do not hit apply. It will, if you have a lot of elements, it will basically shut down Silhouette Studio. You can still print it without hitting apply. You're just going to put it on your design page and you're going to print it out and it will be tapered. Avoid hitting apply, especially if you physically designed it and it's not a flattened image. All right. So now that's ready to go. I'm going to do the same thing. Do it one more time here. We're going to go warp and you're going to have to put it in. When you first hit warp, you can see it doesn't quite fit that shape. So we're going to put in the dimensions. And you can see now that red or pink outline has shrunken down. If you have Designer Edition, you only have the regular warp. You can still warp your templates. So I'm going to put it on top of the template at the bottom that's already warped. I want to see through it, so I'm just going to take my transparency down so I can see through it a little bit. And we're going to try and line it up to the top and also kind of center it. So I'm going to just select this and we're going to center it. Okay. Then you're going to go, well, we're going to open up my warp. You're going to go warp selected shapes. You want to leave this in the default, 3 handles, 1 column, 1 column. That's it. You're going to then click on one of the orange squares and pull it to the corner of the template, the one that is warped. I'm going to zoom in. You want to put that right to the top of that. If you hold down your space bar, you can stay zoomed in and move to the other side. Click and move. You're going to bring this orange square to the corner over here. Hold down hold down your space bar, push it up. Pull this one to that corner. Pull this one to this corner. Once it's there, we're going to zoom back out and you're going to adjust your handles. So we're going to come into this side and I need to adjust this red circle. So this handle, I'm going to pull that in. I like to pull it in just to kind of see where it goes, and I'm going to push it over. Now, when you're doing it this way, you can end up like moving stuff up and down and kind of somewhat distorting it. But you can, like I said, you can do it with the warp tool, just the regular warp tool. All you're moving are the handles on the side so that it lines up with the the sidewalls. And then up here, you're going to take your red and pull it up. Pull it up. Down here, click on that red dot, push it up, push it up. And you're just making it fit the side, like the curve of that template that's behind it. Then we're going to take this and increase our threshold. And you can hit apply if you want, but like I said, you don't have to. It is now warped. You will put this on your page, print it out, cut it, and then wrap it around your tumbler. If you have a image that's simply a background, so I'm going to, just for the sake of this, I'm just going to put a big box here and I'm going to fill it in with the pattern. Or you can also fill your template in with the pattern. So if I click here and just put a pattern, once you go and wrap that, it's going, now your diamonds may not line up, but it will go around the template. It'll go around the tumbler smoothly. So I'm going to just do, let's just do this. No, undo. Let's just do this camo one. So if I was taking this and I wanted to fill it into the design, so if it's not in your patterns folder, you're just bringing in a background, you're bringing in one of those, like I said, the 3D flowers and things of that nature. As long as it doesn't have text, I'm just going to shrink it down. I'm going to send it to the back just so that I can see the template. You can shrink that if you want your, well, of course, once you shrink it down, the shapes on there are going to be smaller. If you wanted them to be bigger, you would leave it big. But at the end of the day, you're just going to select them, go over to modify and crop, and it's going to fit inside of that warped shape. And now you'll be able to print it out, cut it out, and then wrap it around your tumbler. And it's not going to shift. It's going to go around it smoothly to where you can tape it the same way that I do my 20-ounce tumblers. Any questions in regards to the tapered tumbler or the template? While you guys are formulating your questions, I will take this time to let you guys know while I am live, since I am live right now, because it was supposed to be a pre-recorded one. I have the thing going on right now when I'm live. The 30-day training will be, it's discounted. So you have until 30 minutes after this live video to take advantage of that discount. It is 40% off for Essentials to Silhouette Studio. So right now, until 30 minutes after this live broadcast, if you're rewatching this, that discount may not apply. But 30 minutes after this live broadcast, just go put it in your cart, check out, and you're going to see that it goes from $103.65 to $62.19 because it is 40% off. Last call for questions. Remember, you do have to have Designer Edition Plus or Business Edition in order to be able to go to the cone warp and just put in the figures for it to automatically warp for you. If you don't have Designer Edition Plus or Business Edition, you can use regular Designer Edition and use the regular warp and adjust your handles. If you have the standard or basic free edition of Silhouette Studio, you will not be able to do this as far as warping it if you have text, but you can still get the shape with solid patterns by cropping it to the bottom template. You have to have this template in order to do it. It is available on our website. As of right now, it's only available in the Silhouette version. A Photoshop version is coming, and then an SVG of just the bottom part, because of course, I don't know what program you're going to use. So that SVG, and you also won't have these options in your software to make it just warp. Just the SVG of the actual shape will be available for download. All right, there are no other questions. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be ink credible. Peace.